Hello and welcome. In this video I would like to show you my 531 program that has been put together specifically with hypertrophy or bodybuilding in mind. I think this video will be quite detailed and I will explain everything you see on the screen and much more. So let's first start with the main structure of the program. So it is a 531 program. Everybody knows Jim Wendler's 531 structure, where you train 4 times a week. Each day is dedicated to one of the 4 main lifts. Those are squat, bench, deadlift, and overhead press. And you are supposed to follow the progression as prescribed by the 531 protocol. There have been written like 3 books and 1,000 articles on how 531 works, so I will not talk about the 531 in detail in this video, but just know that 531 is the leading strength protocol for this program as well, because every day starts with a 531 and then the rest is put on top of it. We are trying to follow the structure of most important first and then moving to less important exercises. So we are starting with big movements and 531 and then moving to developmental movements, and then lastly we're moving to assistance, and the exercises are also tiered in such fashion as you will see. The program, like I said, is designed for hypertrophy and bodybuilding. That's why you will see the rep ranges and progressions that will be really similar to some of you who have been doing bodybuilding work. And you will not see stuff like many 5x5s or joker sets, because those are more strength specific. So here we are, again, not to repeat myself too much, going to be focused more on hypertrophy. Okay, so just a very quick recap on what 531 is. So every day you do 3 main sets. Week 1 there are 3 sets of 5 with the given percentage. Week 2 there are 3 sets of 3 with the given percentage, and then week 3 there are also 3 sets. First set is 5 reps, second is 3 reps, and third is 1 rep, also on the given percentage. And there is an exclamation point. Every last set, so every third set, is done for as many reps as possible. This is 1 3-week 531 cycle, after which you are supposed to increase your training maxes. And that's really what 531 is. So let's go day by day and let's see how we put this up. So each day, we will start with a squat day. It has 3 tiers. First tier is the 531 superset. I do everything in supersets. This is to keep my conditioning high and to save time, more importantly. The second tier is developmental superset. This one is by design the most open. It is the most flexible. You will see what I mean when we get here. And lastly, we have assistance, or in other words, just pure bodybuilding work. Okay, so let's move through these 3 tiers for every day. And then we will also see afterwards how different days communicate with each other. So day 1 squat. For the 531 supersets, we do of course squats and supersetting with abs, because 531 is always 3 sets. The supersets will always also be 3 sets for abs. For the rep range, I decided for as many reps as possible, and you should adjust the difficulty of those reps so that you don't really go over 15, maybe 20. But don't overcomplicate up training too hard. So, for example, hanging leg raises for as many reps as possible is good rep range. So we do the 3 sets here, and then we move to developmental superset, which is RDLs, so Romanian deadlift, supersetted with side lateral raises. So a crazy idea, but I find this to work very well. You can superset the developmentals on the leg days to squeeze in some additional upper body work. In this program, I wrote it so that you squeeze in shoulders on both lower days, as you will see. So we do Romanians and side laterals. They are done, and I have written here 3 to 5 sets. 6 to 10 reps on Romanians and 10 to 15 on side laterals. Now, this will be a common theme across all 4 days on the developmental supersets, and like I said, they are the most flexible and open ones. So how do you actually perform these exercises? So if any of you have read or are familiar with 531 BBB, that stands for boring but big, you can, for example, do those 5 sets just in the boring but big fashion. There's just 5 sets of 10. But you don't have to do it like this. You can, for example, do a pyramid. You can up the weight and then down the weight across the 5 sets. You don't even have to do all 5 sets. You can do depending how you feel. For example, I have wrote here, you can do the cycling volumizing approach. This would mean, for example, that week 1 you do 3 sets on the chosen weight, and then the following week you would do 4 sets on the same weight, and then last week you would do 5 sets on the same weight. So you add volume across the cycle and progress that way. Or you can just treat them same as assistance, so pure bodybuilding work with evolving rep ranges progression. Evolving rep ranges is just means that you are supposed to hit the top ranges of the range before you increase the weight. I do all the bodybuilding assistance in that manner. So for example, if I do, let's say it says 3 to 4 sets on 6 to 10 reps, and the first week I do 8 reps, 7 reps, 6 reps. This is on the bottom of the range. This is not good enough to increase. And then second week I do maybe 9 reps, 8 reps, 7 reps. Okay, this is great, but we can still perform a little bit better before increasing. We can milk the range a little bit more before increasing the weight. So let's say the third week we do on the 6 to 10 rep range, we do 10 reps, 9 reps, 8 reps. So like if we could do 10, 9, 8 on this exercise on the 6 to 10 rep range, this means that we can increase the weight, and we are quite confident that we will be able to do again 3 sets in the 6 to 10 rep range the following week with the increased weight, and still hitting all 3 sets in the range. For example, we will maybe be back to 876. So these are just many examples on how you can do the developmental supersets. I have just started this program, and for me, right now I have decided to select a goal for each day on the developmental, which I want to hit. So, for example, my goal are to hit 5 sets of 10 reps on a given weight of a given exercise, and I want to work up to that. So for example, on the Romanian deadlifts, I have decided I want to do 5 times 10 on 140 kilograms, and this will be my goal to which I will work out. So I don't have to do 5 sets every workout. For example, I can do pyramids, or just try to hit 1 set of 140 for 10 and then back down, and then next week I will try to hit 2 sets maybe, and so on until I reach my goals. So here I spent some time talking about the ways you can program this second tier of the day, but choose your own. But of course, this only applies to the first part of the superset, which is the big movement. So for side lateral raisers, you should just treat them like standard bodybuilding. Just 10 to 15 is good. And then lastly, on the assistance, on both leg days we have a giant set of quads, hams, and calves. And here we have written quads plus hams, 3 to 4, 10 to 15 reps, or 8 to 12, and calves are always 10 to 15. So what this or means is that you choose the correct rep range based on which exercise you decide to do for quads and hams. So for example, if you decide to do Bulgarian split squats or good mornings, I count them as hard exercises, at least harder than, for example, leg extension, leg curls. So for the harder, which are really difficult to do and taxing, you go for the lower rep range, and on the easier, for example, leg extension, leg curls, you can go for the higher rep range. On the calves, you just always go for 10 to 15 rep range. Maybe sometimes if you want, you can go 15 to 20 rep range on the calves as well. So this was squat day, and all the other days are symmetrical. You will see that the upper days have one more exercise. This is by design because the lower days should be more taxing. You can't do as many exercises because squats and deadlifts are just very hard. So we purposely do one exercise less here. So we did one superset, supersets in tier 1, supersets in tier 2, and then giant set. Now let's move to the second day bench. Same as before and same as always, we will do a bench 5-3-1, superset with barbell row, this time in the 6 to 10 rep range. Then we will go for the developmentals, which we will do overhead press variation, or for me personally, because my overhead press is very weak and it does not tax me very much, I sometimes do just standard overhead press here, and my goal will be to go for 5 times 10 on 50 kilograms for now. Superset with pull-ups 3 to 5, 4 to 8. I will talk more about how these rep ranges were chosen later, but as you can see, we have chosen a very a smaller rep range here for the pull-ups, which will allow you to progress more easily in the weighted pull-ups. And then after that, we proceed to bodybuilding work for the upper day. And here, instead of one giant set, we have actually 2 supersets. The first superset is chest variation, 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 10 reps. Superset with 4 arms, 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 15 reps. So for the chest variations, you could do anything from this list. Here we have some lists down below to give you ideas of exercises. So for the chest variations, you could go for dumbbell presses, incline double presses, dips, push-ups, or any chest machines. Do not go for a close grip bench press because that one is reserved for the developmental work on the overhead press day. Once we are done with this superset, we move to the last superset, which is just biceps plus triceps, 3 to 4, 8 to 12. Very simple. If you count the exercises, you will see there were 8, and on the leg days there are 7. But among those 7, we have abs and side lateral raises, so basically only 5 are for leg works, if you even count calves as legs. So okay, then we move to the second lower day, which is a deadlift day, So starts with the deadlift 531, superset with abs again. How you schedule these abs is up to you. Maybe you want to do like the front abs on day 1 and the obliques on day 2, maybe. For the abs again, if we look at the list, we have, for example, sit-ups, hanging leg raises, windshield wipers, planks, rollouts, V sit-ups, bench sit-ups, crunches. Then for the developmental superset, which again you can do in many ways, but for example, my favorite developmental movement would be here front squat. So I just wrote front squat, supersetted with rear delts, which in this case can be rear delts or face pulls. So we are hitting the entirety of the shoulders on the lower days. So on the squat we did side laterals, and on the deadlift we do rear delts. And then we follow with symmetrical to squat day. We follow with quads, hams, 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 15 or 8 to 12, depending on the exercise, and calves, 10 to 15. Or again, maybe 15 to 20 if you so wish. For example, if you just do bodyweight calves. And then day 4, on the overhead press, we have overhead press 531, superset with chin-ups 6 to 10. Developmental variation is close grip, superset with a row variation. The row variations can be machine rows, Bentley rows, or seal rows. Seal rows has become one of my favorites lately. And here we have a higher rep range, because all of these row variations can be done in the higher rep ranges quite easily, especially seal rows and machines. And then we follow with a chest variation, 3 to 4, this time done in a higher rep range, 8 to 12, and forearms. And then last superset bicep triceps, this time done in a lower rep range, 6 to 10. So we have different rep ranges for the same muscle groups across the week, so that we can maybe it's easier to progress this way, because you have different rep ranges. So for example, if you look at the rows, for the rows on the bench day we have 6 to 10, while here on the row variation we have 8 to 12. For the pull-ups we have here 4 to 8, which is a vertical pull, and here we have 6 to 10, again 2 different ranges for the vertical pull and 2 different ranges for horizontal pull. For the shoulders, well, we have the 531 range, the developmental range 6 to 10, and of course 10 to 15 ranges for the isolations. For the chest, we have 531 range, we have 6 to 10 range in the developmental, and then we have again here 6 to 10 on the chest variant, and the biggest one 8 to 12 on the chest variant as well. So basically we have 4 different ranges here. For the biceps and triceps we have 8 to 12 range on the first day and 6 to 10 on the second day. So for example, maybe you like to do barbell curls 6 to 10, and here on the 8 to 12 you want to do maybe preacher curls, but you can do, if you want to change the range, you can do 10 to 15, for example, if you want to do more, if you want to do 10 to 15 on hammer curls or spider curls or any machine cable curls. It's not that important. So yeah, different ranges for the same muscle groups, so that we have a lot of variability across the week. And yes, this is how I set up the hypertrophy-focused 531 program. So again, if you are confused about what 531 means, there are tons of articles and also books on the topic. You know, the idea is that 531 is leading you in the correct direction. It makes sure that you are progressing and that your strength is following you, while all the rest is done a lot of volume to ensure that the muscles grow as well. If I look at the notes, I think I explained everything as we went. And we went through the exercises as well. So let me know what you think. I'm going to run this program for as long as I can. And you can expect some videos. Maybe when my 5-3-1 sets become impressive, I will record some of them. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining by. If you have any feedback on the program, please let me know. I made this video as much for myself so that I can explain it, and I hope to receive some feedback. So thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.